Chemistry is a subject that many students find challenging, not because it's especially hard, but because it is layered. With chemistry, if a child doesn't understand the basics, then everything else would feel like a foreign language. Hi there, my name is Sylvia Browne. I'm the lead tutor here at the Impact Academy, and I've helped hundreds of students jump up to 3 grades in maths and science. In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 biggest steps top students take to secure grade 9 in chemistry without stress. Now, during the pandemic, one of the subjects that was hit the hardest was chemistry. There were many students that were falling way behind in chemistry compared to the other science subjects and compared to maths. Why? Because chemistry is a subject that relies heavily on the foundations. If the foundation is not in place, if your child doesn't know the early stuff, atoms, elements, compound mixture, and so on, then everything else will be confusing. And that's why step 1 to get a grade 9 in GCSE chemistry is to master the basics. Now, if you don't know about atomic structure on the periodic table, then you're going to struggle when you come to do ionic bonding. If you don't know about ionic bonding, then when you start to do electrolysis, everything's going to feel like a foreign language. If you don't understand about separating techniques, separating mixtures, then when you start to do things like crude oil or making salts, it's not going to make sense. Okay. So hopefully you can see there how what I've explained, everything just piles on top of each other. And now knowing the foundations is something that's important for subjects. But in my opinion, I feel that it's especially so, it's even more important for chemistry. Chemistry is just one of those subjects. So what do you need to do to get a grade 9 in GCSE chemistry? Start by going back to the basics. So depending on when you started your GCSE chemistry / science, year 9 and year 10, go back and cover those topics so that you can have a solid foundation before moving on. Now, if you want to learn the best way to easily develop your foundation and cover the gaps in your knowledge, then there's a PDF guide that I'll put in the description down below called the 3 Simple Steps to Achieve Top Grades in GCSE Maths and Science, and you can learn about that. You can get that in the description down below. All right, so that was step 1 to master the basics. Step 2 is to get comfortable with math. Here's what I found after teaching hundreds, thousands of students over many years is that students treat maths separately from science, right? When they come into the science classroom, they leave maths outside the door. But the reality is these subjects are hugely interlinked. So in chemistry alone, about 20% of your marks in GCSE chemistry is maths. And that is about an entire 1 grade level. It's an entire grade. And with chemistry, maths is not just sprinkled around the subjects like in biology, for instance. There is actually an entire maths unit. There's actually an entire quantitative chemistry unit. So if you want to do well in chemistry, then guess what? Maths has to become your best friend. So here's what you need to do. You need to go back to the basics with maths.